Let's jump into some third-party news. Last year, around Christmas time, December, a company called Lemon Tree Toys was showing images of their LT-03 purple potato. And what we all assumed this was, and it was on Weibo and they didn't really give much information, we just assumed this was a non-transformable, nice rendition of the 1986 Transformer movie Decepticon Battleship. Pretty much the ship that Unicron gave to Galvatron to be his personal ship for, hunting down Ultra Magnus and stuff. And this ship, we saw some gray prototype and digital images of it. They gave us some dimensions saying, it's a height of 22 centimeters or 8 inches in length. And, that was it. And we just assumed, okay, that's pretty cool. That's something that'll be a nice, complement to our Unicron that we might be getting later. And it seems that today, this morning, straight from Weibo, again in China, we got some more information on it, and lo and behold, this is a lot more than we thought. This is actually transformable, and it turns into Shockwave, and I'm very impressed by this. If I have one minor silly nitpick, it's, hey, Shockwave has 2 hands. He doesn't have a laser hand. And I find that kind of, funny because, okay, first off, yeah, Shockwave in some fictional renditions, he did have 2 hands. His Masterpiece toy had 2 hands, had the option for 2 hands anyhow. And depending on which episode of G1 he's been seen with 2 hands. But I mean, I find it funny because this Decepticon Battleship has so many of these pointy singular laser cannons that not one of them could have been put onto the hand. But again, it's probably part of the transformation and I'm looking too deeply into it. But regardless, this is really cool. I really dig this a lot. I like that the fact that it does a perfect version of the ship, not showing the kibble of a robot mode. And that's how it fooled us pretty much the first time we were shown it. And yet it transforms into a really nice looking, it doesn't show the kibble of an alt mode. And then and it's just, it's spectacular. I really like it. I love the 86 movie. To be able to have something that does that ship and then also transforms, that's even more incredible. Fictionally, obviously, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess it's maybe people going well, who would this ship transform into if it did transform into somebody? Part of me wants to go, oh, maybe they thought, well, because of Shockwave's dubious, appearances in the 86 movie, he appears at the end, supposedly in an unproduced storyboard. He gets killed by Unicron after the famous line, Decepticons were under attack, scramble. That scene was later on put in the IDW Transformers the Movie comic book series, which was, I believe Matt Moylan drew those pages, if I remember correctly. But the point being is that, I mean, I don't think it's smart to use that character for that depiction of that ship, but at the same time, who would you use then? Who had at that point really died that could have been used? I mean, or it could be a brand new character that they could have done too, but obviously using pre-existing characters is always the safe bet and the best way to go about it. And I mean, we've had now in Transformers lore where it's hey, in different, versions of it, the Nemesis or the Nemesis used to be Trypticon's soul. And then that was then put into the Dino body that was used later in Scramble City. That's, one retcon, if you will, and one of the many retcons of Transformers lore. So, I mean, you couldn't say that this could be Trypticon because around the time of the 86 movie, we already had Scramble City. Trypticon already was the Dino base, if you will. So, but still, I dig this a lot. This is really cool. And I'm really curious what people think about this, because if you're someone who bought that HasLab Unicron, this is a really good companion piece to go with it. And again, I'm not big on third party and a lot of stuff, but when they do stuff that intrigues me and that's really unique, and again, I'm a bit of a Shockwave fan, so that also is, an unfair advantage. Stuff like this really catches my attention. So let me know what you think about this. This is really cool. And I mean, wow, just a really good companion piece.